G'day guys, and welcome to my tutorial on how to paint black power armor. I also use this black for my Aquillas on my Blood Angels as well as the gun casing. To start this, you need to prime your model with Chaos Black primer from Games Workshop. Then we're going to base coat the model with Abaddon Black. For this step, I use a small dry brush. Now normally this should only take one coat of paint to cover, but sometimes you might want to give it two. The reason we paint black on black is because when we're doing the next steps, the highlights, if we make a mistake, it's easier to tidy up, as Abaddon Black, the pot paint, is actually different to Chaos Black, the spray. So I'll just base this guy. I'll probably give him two coats and then we'll come back for that first highlight. So after your Abaddon Black has dried, we're going to move on to the first highlight. Unlike my red power armor tutorial, the black power armor is just 3 highlights and a dot. There is no recess shade. So for the first super thick highlight, you're going to want to mix Abaddon Black and Eshin Grey. Now, I'll see if I can pick this up. This is probably the best area to paint it. You'll be able to see how thick my first highlight is. And the reason it's so thick is it's going to give the next highlight a little bit of breathing room. So I'll go around and I'll paint the entire leg section with this highlight and do some tidy ups with the base coat if required, and then we'll come back. So yeah, you can see how thick that is. It's very, very thick. With the first highlight finished and your tidy ups done, your model should look something like this. Now you'll see that the highlight's so thick that sometimes it will be like an entire area, and that's okay. If that's the case, just highlight that whole area with that first highlight. The next step, we're going to be using straight Eshin Grey. Again, I'll highlight this little hip because it's quite a good area to see how thick the highlight's going to be. So the idea is that we're going to leave a little bit of that first highlight and still have it thick enough for a final highlight. You don't want to do this one too thin or it will make the last one difficult to do. So you can sort of see the thickness there, leaving some of that first highlight. I'll continue to paint this one and then do the tidy ups with the previous mix. And we'll come back for that final highlight. So after the second highlight of Eshin Grey, you can see that the first highlight is starting to sort of disappear. Your model should look like this after you've done your tidy ups. I should have mentioned in the previous 2 clips that the brush we're using is a small artificial layer brush from Games Workshop as well, so I do apologize for that. This next step is probably going to be the most difficult, but as with anything with patience and practice, you'll eventually get it. So we're going to apply a highlight with our small artificial layer brush of Dawnstone Grey. Again, I'll paint on this leg guard. So you're going to try and do a very thin highlight here. Just take your time. It is probably the trickiest of all the highlights, but then after this will be the easiest part of the armor. So I'll go around and I'll finish off this leg, and I'll do the tidy up with the previous color, and we'll show you what it looks like when all the Dawnstone has been applied to it. With the Dawnstone third highlight finished, we move on to the final step, which is going to be adding a dot of Adiminstratum grey to the corners. Again, we'll use the small artificial layer brush. And all you're going to do is get a small amount of paint on your brush, move over to the model, and just dot the corners of the armour. Sometimes I like to add a dot to the high point of the knee as well, so just sort of about there. I'll go around and dot the rest of the armour, and then we'll come back and do a quick review. With the Adiminstratum grey dot applied, you have now finished the black armour. My next tutorial is going to be my gold tutorial. I use that for the trim on my Blood Angels. You might be able to use it for a Stormcast Eternal. After that, I'm going to film some stuff for my subscribers. So if you've found these tutorials useful, then maybe subscribing to my channel might also help you out. I hope you enjoy your day.